do we need Greens in the Senate?
Well, if Rudd wins government in the lower house, that's just stage one of what he needs to do. If he wants to get rid of work choices, or even put in work choices light, then he's going to need to get that through the Senate. And on the current numbers, there's no way the ALP can win the Senate by themselves. They just won't win enough senators to get control of the Senate away from the coalition. The only way that they can get rid of work choices is if Labor and the ALP vote together. If the ALP and the Greens vote together to vote down work choices. Now the Greens are committed to supporting any law that comes through and improves working rights. But in the Senate, if Kerry Nettle is returned here in New South Wales, and I'm her number 2 here in New South Wales, if Kerry Nettle is returned in New South Wales, Kerry will move the amendments in the Senate to get rid of AWAs, to scrap the ABCC, and to support the legitimate rights of unions to represent their members. And that's what the Greens' commitment is to all the people of the Hunter.
What about industrial relations, Keith?
Well, as a unionist and an active unionist for over 30 years at my workplace and a life member of my union, I always expected that the Labor Party would give the workers of this country a much better deal than the coalition. You expect bad news from the coalition, but I'm particularly concerned about what differences there really are between Kevin Rudd, Me Too Kevin Rudd, and the Howard government. We've got the Australian Building and Construction Tribunal, which with its secret police and its godlike powers of arrest, something you would think that the Labor government would have thrown out on its ear or if it was elected, but no, that's going to be continue for quite a few years. You've got AWAs, they're going to continue for another 5 years. If you want to get out of an AWA, you can't, you're stuck with it. Now, what sort of a Labor government would do that sort of thing? It seems to me that we're stuck now with a Labor government Labor Party that's just a brand name, and that old adage about ALP standing for another Liberal Party I think really does resonate now. As a unionist and a former Labor Party member, I might add, I'm disgusted.
What do you think about Newcastle's experience with the Pasha Bulka and its relationship to dangerous climate change?
Well, what better display about the dangers of climate change than seeing the climate wreck here on Nobby's Beach ground a coal carrier? Because if we don't do something as a people about these huge coal exports and the damage they're doing to the climate, well then the planet's going to do it for us. So we have a choice, and we have a choice at this election, which is take real action on climate change, or as we saw here in Newcastle a matter of months ago, the planet will do it for us.
Charmian, what are we going to do about climate change?
Well, the bigger parties have been dithering around about doing anything about climate change for the last decades. The Greens have been working very hard to bring to the surface what has actually been happening to our climate. The climate we've had in Newcastle in the last year is indicative of worse to come if we don't do something about it. This means we have to introduce renewable energy targets that are achievable very quickly. And this means investment at a federal level, big investment in renewable energy research and development.
Suzanne, why are you standing in Charleton?
I've seen the results of having the Liberal Party in control of both the upper and the lower houses, and it's been disastrous for every person within the country and democracy. So by being a candidate, I'm offering people a choice to actually put back some people into politics and trying to get the Senate candidates elected. Dave Shoebridge and Kerry Nettle, I think, are worthwhile people who can make a difference. They have skills, they have ethics, they have morals, and that's what the Greens stand for.